Hi everyone. Today I thought I'd make a video about the chest, shoulders and upper back and releasing tension in those areas. This is something that's always important as human beings, but something that I think is becoming increasingly important given what's going on as we're starting to work from home a lot more. And if you're anything like me, spending a lot more time hunched over a laptop, okay? So there's a syndrome that people refer to as something called upper cross syndrome, okay? And I just want to explain to you the anatomy and physiology first. If you're not interested, feel free to skip straight through to the more yoga parts, but I'm going to explain this syndrome over, okay? You've got lower cross syndrome as well, and I'll touch on that in another video. So in upper cross syndrome, what you see is the chest curve and the chin sort of jut forward, okay? And as you can imagine, what this creates is a very tight chest, stretched out but not strong back muscles. The back of my neck really tightens and I'm extending through my throat, which in general we want to avoid. And I'm exaggerating this, but we all to a degree, you can imagine yourself sitting at the laptop like this, do it, okay? So what we want to work on is opening the chest, okay? Not necessarily thinking of it as a back bend, because we don't need to bend the lower back to open the chest. So thinking it as a chest opener. And then we want to stretch the back of the neck. And as we open the chest, what's important is you don't just stretch the chest, because otherwise you have no muscles in the back, no muscles in the chest, and you're all jelly, yeah? So we need to move from tight chest and weak back to open chest and strong back, yeah? And then with the neck, we need to loosen the back muscles. We don't need to worry about strengthening the neck muscles. In general, they're all pretty strong as it is because they're holding your incredibly heavy head. So that's the sort of vague theory behind it. If you want to know any more about it, I'm happy to offer some suggested reading or some articles you look at. So do pop me a message below. So what I'm planning on doing now is just moving through maybe a shortest sequence, which is going to be based all around opening the chest, releasing the neck, and we'll just see how we get on. In this video today, obviously, with all my videos, you don't have to have them. You can create your own home variation. But if you do have them, I'm going to use 2 yoga bricks and 1 strap, okay? Of course, you can use books, cushions, dog lead, shirt tie, any equivalent instead of these, okay? So we're going to move through a typical sequence, but we're going to change quite a lot of things to open the upper back. So I'm going to start off in a child's pose. It's my favourite position to start a practice off in. But I'm going to show you a child's pose, which works on opening the upper chest. So from here, take your bricks or anything that's on a high setting. If you just have the 1, you can keep it in the middle and pop your hand on that. If you have the 2 though, keep them about shoulder width apart. So in your child's pose, toes come together, knees come apart, walk the hands and the bricks forward, release the chest down and just feel that opening to the chest and towards the armpits. If it's uncomfortable to drop the head down to the mat because your spine is curving, take a cushion, take a break and pop and pop your head on that. That way, again, we're not straining the chest, we're not straining the neck, and we can keep that nice release. So from here, just take a deep breath in and out. 3 more breaths, deep breath in and out. Deeper breath in and out. And just feel the chest and the armpits sinking down as you breathe a little bit deeper. If you're happy here, you could stay exactly where you are. Or you can place your right hand on top of your left brick and just move it all the way off the mat towards the left, releasing there and just feeling the stretch through the right armpit, the right hand side of the body. Taking a deep breath in and out. And you just want to keep the breath really constant, supplying the body with as much fresh oxygen as it needs, as much fresh oxygen as it requires. And just helping keeping the nervous system calm, okay? Again, deep breath in and out. 1 more breath here, guys. Deeper breath in and out. Bring your hands back towards the center, leave your left brick, and then pop your left hand directly on top of the right. Brick coming off the mat to the right and head down. So the reason you want to keep your nervous system calm when you're working into flexibility and stretch work is you want to move away from that fight and flight. We all know that feeling of anxiety brewing and being ready to run. And moving into that calm and more the lethargic, getting ready for bed sense. And that way the body is less likely to react to a deep stretch, and instead it can calm in towards it. So keeping the breath slow, that constant supply of oxygen helps switch on that calming side of the nervous system. And you can release a little bit further. Bring the arms all the way back towards the center. Just pop the bricks down, spreading your fingertips. And draw yourself up towards a kneeling tabletop position. So from your tabletop position, we're going to move into something called a puppy dog. In your puppy dog, you want to keep your hips directly above the knees. So I'm just going to move myself back a little bit and stretch the arms forward. This is similar to that child's pose, but it intensifies the stretching towards the chest. Now try and keep bum above the knees instead of pulling back. Of course, if it's too strong, skip it and stay with your child's pose, okay? If again, your chest doesn't quite touch the mat, use that brick. Use your brick under your forehead. Make yourself comfortable so the body can stay calm as it stretches. But alternatively, if your puppy dog isn't enough, use bricks. Place them under the forearms this time to give you a little bit of extra stability, and then release down. And of course, you can change the height of those bricks whenever you want. Keeping the breath deep. Breathing in and out. And notice as this happens, not only does the chest open, but for me, my upper back muscles just start to switch on. And enables me to counter that upper cross syndrome that I spoke about earlier, stretching the chest and strengthening the spine. Let's stay here for 3 more breaths. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Keeping that breath constant and slow and out. For me, the best way to come out of this is to push forward in towards my forearms. Lower the belly button down. And miraculously, it's brought me in towards a sphinx. So of course, you don't have to use bricks in your sphinx. If you were enjoying those bricks, keep them. But I'm going to show you the variation where the bricks come down. So you balance on your forearms, you squeeze the bum and lengthen the chest. And then as you start to strengthen the upper back, draw the tummy button in just to ensure that you're not sending this into the lower spine. And you're just keeping it focused on the thoracic spine. That's the part of the spine that curves. So we're extending the thoracic spine, shoulder blades drawing together, and just keep breathing. Taking a deep breath in and exhale out. If it's too strong, walk the hands further forward. If it's not strong enough, use the bricks. Deep breath in and out, staying in that calming part of the nervous system. Deep breath in and out. And then let's just bring the arms together. Drop the right cheek onto the mat. Doubtless the lower back might have felt that a little bit, so let's just bend the knees and just window wipe the feet from side to side. Breathing a little bit deeper as you do this. And then come to pop the feet all the way back down and towards the mat. Hands coming all the way alongside you. If you would like to, you can draw in towards a low cobra, or if your lower back is feeling happy with it, you can extend in towards an upward facing dog. And as you hold here, pull the shoulder blades back, extend the chest forward, so you can really start to feel the strength develop in the back of the upper spine, the shoulder blades, and the chest starts to open, drawing the tummy button in as you do this. And then we're going to tuck our toes under and find our downward facing dog. So remembering that upper cross syndrome, that curve in the spine, isn't often always just caused by hunching over when we're not doing yoga. Sometimes we impact it during our yoga practice. So I often see this in people's downward facing dogs because they're so desperate to straighten their legs, and I think that we as yoga teachers encourage that sometimes. We want to avoid that. We so want to straighten our leg because it feels such a lovely extension that you get this curve in the upper spine. As you can see, I've created that hunch over laptop feeling. So instead, if you bend your knees, your chest can lower. Trust me, during your yoga practice, your legs get enough time to stretch out. No need to do that now, okay? So just finding your downward facing dog, bend your knees, send the chest back. The next thing I like to see is people bending their elbows and rolling them back. Now the reason being is if you roll shoulders up in towards the ears, you can imagine if you walk down the street like this all the time, it wouldn't be very long until you felt uncomfortable, yeah? So we want to avoid that in our downward facing dog, by releasing the shoulders, okay? The way to do that is start off with the shoulders touching the ears, just so you know what it is I'm feeling. So we want to avoid that, okay? Instead, bend your elbows to either side and then roll those slightly bent elbows back towards the thighs. And trust me, this will feel funky on your chest, your upper back for a while until you get used to it, okay? But you will get used to it, okay? So let's do that again. Bend your elbows and roll them back. Let's move through a flow just to release that strain. Draw forward, high plank. Exhale, drop knees, untuck toes, pulling forward, lowering. Squeeze the bum, lengthen. Either remain in your low cobra if you've got any discomfort in your lower back, or drive into the hands, upward facing dog, before tucking your toes under, downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, you can get the sensation of an upward facing dog without hurting the lower spine if that's something that you suffer with. So what I'd recommend, and I love doing this one anyway, is lift to the tips of your toes, bend your knees, and I'm going to really super glue belly, chest, everything down towards my knees. So it doesn't look like a normal downward facing dog, does it? As you keep that super glue, bend your knees a little bit, get your belly towards your heels, so we're really not in an downward facing dog anymore. And then you keep the super glue, lift the bum up, and notice the upper back stretch, upper back bend. But my chest is remaining on my thighs. And then bend, but I'm not bending in towards my lower back because my lower back is staying long and secure on my thighs. So again, lift up. I can feel the extension in my upper back that's stretching my chest. It strengthens my upper back, so you're helping counter that upper cross syndrome, not just stretch it out. And then bend. Remember, you have to build up the strength too. So lifting up, feel the stretch in the upper back. My lower back feels fine though because it's flat on my thighs. And lower. One more lift. So you want to keep that balance between strength and flexibility always. That's why yoga is so great. And exhale, heels push back. Bend your elbows and roll them back towards the thighs. Let's roll ourselves forward in towards our high plank. I just want to show you a couple of other ways to open out the chest. Here's one of them. When you drop your right knee down, often we'll find a half moon, a kneeling half moon. And then your teacher might say, bring your hand back towards your foot, okay? This was why the strap was suggested. You can always use your strap and go fishing, whoops, for your foot, yeah? So make something that wasn't possible. That's what bricks and straps do. They make something that isn't possible, or they aid you to make it stronger. So what you often see happens, I'm just going to drop the strap now so you can see more clearly, is that we kick up, we squeeze the bum, and we really focus on the leg. But right now, we're trying to focus on the chest. So pull the belly button in so you're not dumping into the lower spine. I'm drawing it in. And then instead of having the leg high, pull it behind you and down, okay? And as I pull it down, my chest opens. And as I kick my foot into my arm, it stretches my arm out as well. Let's take 3 breaths here. Take a deep breath in. And out. Notice that my right shoulder hasn't shrugged up to my ears. I've kept it long. Deep breath in. and out. One more deep breath in and out. And we're just going to swap sides over. Drop the left knee down, right leg just stays long, lifting it up. And if you've got the balance, bring the hand back towards the foot, taking the strap. And always remember, so instead of showing you this on this side, I'm going to show you something else. You could do this, if that's what you're happy with, but if the balance isn't quite there, just keep the right leg down and drop the right hand behind you, opening the chest. So there really is no right and wrong variation, but there is one that your body's going to prefer. So make sure you do the one that your body prefers and find that stretch, that opening in the chest. If you've bound, make sure that you're squeezing the bum to support the spine, drawing the tummy button in, leg lowers, 2 more breaths. Deep breath in, so we're not up, we're down, and out. 1 more deep breath in, and out. Pop the hands down. Just to release the lower spine, in case you felt it a little bit there, draw back, but knees come together in this child's pose, and arms come alongside you, so you've tucked into a ball. If you're still not getting enough of a release in the lower spine, it's not the most comfortable thing. A pillow would be better, wouldn't it? But you can always fold forward over your brick. So your brick comes over your thighs as you lower. 3 breaths, deep breath in. And out. 2 breaths, deep breath in. And out. 1 breath, deep breath in. And out. Lift yourself back up. Pop the brick away. Final opening for the chest before we release the neck. So you're going to lift up, feet are going to come to about hip width apart. I'm going to show you what it would look like with a strap, but you can always interlace your hands without a strap. Using a strap or an equivalent, make sure the hands are as close together as they can go. You don't want them miles away from each other, but you want them to feel comfortable. So squeeze the bum, lift the head, lift the chest. Gently bend the knees because we don't need to exacerbate this in our lower spine. Walk the feet a little bit wider to give you some stability. And then exhale, fold forward, drawing the arms over and feeling the stretch into the arms. Of course, you can do this without a strap, hands interlaced. Gently bend the knees, get the chest down on towards the thighs. We're not worrying about the legs today, we're thinking about the upper body and lower. Remember, if you're not using a strap, try and avoid the fingertips just clasping one another. Otherwise, if you're like me, you spend more time holding sweaty hands than you do anything else. Instead, pull the palms so they touch. That will give you a firmer stretch. Remember, guys, your bum can be quite low, okay? My legs aren't straightening. I'm not worried about my legs. I'm opening my chest. 2 more breaths. Deep breath in. And out. 1 more breath in. And out. Release the bum, the hips, all the way down on towards the mat. Final stretches will be to the neck, okay? So get yourself into a comfortable seated position. You can always sit on a brick. I like to do so because it means I'm not impacting my hips too much, okay? So lift up through the chest and then just lower the chin down. Now be mindful, as you lower the chin down, you don't lower the entire chest down. I want you to keep the chest lifting to the chin and the chin drawing towards the chest. You've got lots of muscles that come down the back of the spine, the back of the neck, but you have this one muscle called the trapezius, and it comes into sort of this diamond shape. You have the trapezius, yeah? And it goes all the way from the base of your skull, and it sort of stops sort of mid-shoulder blades, a little bit lower than that, yeah? And so when you're stretching, you want to feel the stretch not only to the back of the neck, but maybe a little bit to the upper back. Really nice after all those back strengthening movements we've done. And if you're not feeling a stretch, interlace the hands and lightly, don't drop them completely, just lightly place them into the head. You're not pulling them down, you're not dropping them, you're just adding that little bit of extra weight, but nothing extreme. Take a deep breath in and out. Breathing in and out. One more, a little bit of extra weight if it feels comfortable. And out, and just notice how much further your neck is released. Give yourself time in stretches. Yeah, your muscles try and stop you from stretching when they first feel the stretch. And then as you breathe and stay calm, your nervous system says, actually, do you know what? That wasn't so bad. Hands come down. Let's lower the right ear towards the right shoulder. For many people, this is more than enough, or you can pop your hand to the outer edge of the head. If you bring your chin down towards your chest or sort of closer to it, you're still getting the trapezius on the left-hand side. So if you think that's where you hold tension, keep it there. But if you turn it a little bit further, you can start to feel the stretches come down, they're slightly more scrawnier muscles. And you've got these muscles called the scalenes, and they get really tender and really tight. And as you stretch that, it can feel a little bit bizarre, but they get really tight. So you can decide, do you want your head further forward or further back? Some people like to bring the left hand round towards the lower spine, and as you do that, wow, the scalenes really get involved in that. And out. One more deep breath in. And out. Release the left hand and guide the head back up. Next side. Right hand down, left hand towards the outer edge. And just a little bit of weight. You don't have to use the hand. Again, chin closer to the chest stretches the trapezius. Chin further away from the chest stretches the scalenes. And then again, if you want to, you can wrap the arm around. So you may have noticed, guys, when I'm finding stretches, I tend to close my eyes. And the reason I do that is because when your eyes are open, especially if it's in the daylight and you're seeing bright light, it can sort of stimulate that fight and flight response, and it makes stretching a little bit less accessible. Whereas when you close your eyes, you breathe, maybe you're listening to some nice calming music, that relaxing part of the nervous system can be kicked in and can allow the stretch to exacerbate. And just maybe noticing if the heads come further down. One more moment. Release the right hand and tilt the head back up. Bring the hands back down towards the knees. Just close the eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath in and out. Notice if you're sitting a little bit taller. How do your shoulders feel? How does your chest feel? Hopefully more open. Deep breath in and out. Lower your chin to your chest. Allow your eyes to open and lift back up through the head. Wonderful. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you found that useful or interesting. As ever, please do pop any questions in the comment box below. Please remember when you're working over those laptops to just try and engage the shoulder blades, lifting the head, keeping it long. If you're on YouTube, please do like and subscribe. If you're on Instagram, please do like and follow. And as ever, share this with many friends and family as you would like. Thank you.